Hello, my little latte links. Is that what I called you guys last time? I don't remember. Anyway, good morning. Today, what am I doing today? I kind of created this stream at the last moment, but anyway, we gotta finish the main quest today, and that's part of the plan. And aside from that, I don't know. I'm really sleepy. I have to wake up tomorrow. Latte lings. Yeah. Don't you guys like it? Don't people like it when their VTuber gives them like a stupid little nickname that you listen to them say and then you're like, wow, that's really cringe, and then it kind of grows on you? Isn't that what people like? I think we all have to wake up tomorrow. None of it I have anything to say about that. Anyway, whatever that means. Anyway. I'm just gonna organize my daily stuff a little bit, and then let's get back to where we ended in case you forgot already, in which case, how could you, right? That's tangtang story we're talking about. How could you forget that already? But in case you forgot already, last time, we found out that Tangtang's brother kind of betrayed her, for the sake of his revenge, and Tangtang herself wasn't happy with that, and now she's sad. And we had to fight him, and he was really cool. That's life for you. That is life for you. Got my chocolate latte, got some marshmallows. I'm ready. Shoot, you wanna share some marshmallows? I sure would like to consume some. Anyway, I also got a. Oh yeah, here we go. Gotta go stockade to complete it. Honestly, I really should be taking my time to collect all these growths and stuff, but I just kind of can't bring myself to. Also, that's really far. Wait, where's the nearest waypoint to that? Can I get there from here? I don't think so. I think the only way is from over here, huh? That's kind of annoying. You can walk on water. You can walk on water? You better not be lying. If I dissolve like sugar, I'll cry. It's very funny, man. Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You're right. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie, that scared me for a minute. Why would they have it as full water like that then? Makes me think that's impassable. And then it feels so long, I definitely get back to it after Anime Auto next week. Anime Auto is next week? Shoot. Honestly, I was thinking about going to Anime Ottawa, but they didn't let me in because I didn't know that the event was gonna happen and I didn't apply for it. But I would have gone to Anime Ottawa if I knew it was the thing. I heard Anime Ottawa would be fun though this time. I heard that there's like a lot of cool guests there. Ottawa isn't real, that's true. I've never been there. I mean, I've been there and I can tell you that like there's the only thing that's there is like it's like the single parliament building and like a bunch of grass, and that's all there is in Ottawa. That's the entirety of Ottawa. If there is an Anime Ottawa, they're hosting in the basement of the parliament building. I remember you mentioned wanting to from Ontario. Any plans to check out Oshi uplink? To be honest, no. I kind of have I don't want to say social anxiety, right? But I kind of have a little bit of social anxiety in that I kind of don't want people to find out that I do YouTube. Does that make is that strange? Like, I have friends and I know that they do VTubing and I know that they stream, right? And I haven't told them that I also do the same thing. I haven't asked them to collab or anything because like it's kind of humiliating. I might have said that before. I think it's kind of humiliating. Imagine going to your friends and like, oh yeah, I'm a VTuber too. Wanna follow each other? We can collab sometime. That's oomph. That's my friend. That's my little guy right there. The collab would be really weird. Are you ashamed of us? No, I'm ashamed of me. No, I think you guys are cool actually. You know, if I if I found out a socially acceptable way to brag about it, I'd be like, oh yeah, look at my little guys. You know, they have jobs and they live in like Texas or something. I don't know. Ain't that cool? Oh, I know a little guy in Texas. You've been to Texas? I know a guy in Texas. Oh, you went to Europe once? I'm pretty sure I know a guy from Europe. You know, if I could, I would brag about that. I feel it's really humiliating to tell them about this kind of thing. That's me. You think angry they didn't tell you about a big part of your life? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't tell my friends very much about my life, to be fair. So maybe they wouldn't be upset. Maybe it'd just be like, oh, that's a neat little tidbit, right? Although, I guess if I've told them that I found out that they have a VTuber account, then it would be kind of awkward if they found out. Or maybe we could just keep it like under wraps, you know? Maybe like they know I do YouTube, but like it's like a secret, you know? And maybe that'll be better. I don't know. Anyways, for that reason that like I want to go to cons and stuff where people talk about VTubers and stuff, right? I want to like, so how do I say? I don't want to go to like a VTuber only con because I don't watch enough VTubers to blend in. So if someone came up to me and were like, "Oh wow, you know that awesome VTuber, you know, the one from Hololive," I'd be like, "Yeah, for sure. You know, there's like the dogs, Fuamoko, right? And then I'd shut off. I don't think I'd blend in that crowd, but I would want to be in a crowd where VTubers are expected, but not the main thing, like Anime North. I have a little secret to tell you guys. There's a lot of like Arknights players in the Toronto area, right? A lot of the YouTubers you might know are from Toronto, like Ekojin, among others. I couldn't name them, but you know, they exist. Oh, man, I'm so terrible at this. Anyway, I'd want to go there and hang out with Arknights guys, but I wouldn't tell them that I am me, the creator who does the Arknights. I would just be there to vibe, right? You know, does that make sense? Look at my little guys functioning offer servers from Montreal. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I've learned a large amount of VTubers are from Canada. Yeah, I think. I don't want to like. And I don't want to like generalize or like make stereotypes, but I've noticed that a lot of artists who do a lot of things, right? Like what do you like call like specifically multidisciplinary artists, especially the ones who happen to be entertainers or like want to be entertainers and do YouTube and stuff, they tend to be Canadian. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe like Americans don't have the ambitions of wanting to do 50,000 things at once. I don't know. Every VTuber is a bit weird, you know? I know every VTuber is a bit weird. I just like I want to be normal. I would like to be normal. It's probably because you're a bit of a very normal girly compared to most of the people there, I'd say. You're a freak of nature to me. Am I normal? I don't feel normal. Am I normal? Honestly, guys, like, being a person who goes to like education places, right, and meets like actually normal people, it's so strange. It's so strange. I like my professors in my class will point out to the class like, hey, any of you guys watch you know, insert popular TV show of the month, and then everyone else will raise their hands, and here I am. I'm just like, oh, I've heard of that. It was on my convention badge. You know, what's it called? The I can't read it. Never mind. Sometimes you're very normal, sometimes you're very abnormal, bit of a mix. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I think to be a functioning member of society, you have to have like some aspects that are very crazy and some aspects that are very normal. I think that's how you become a normal person, right? Take Enmin, for example. You see her now, and you wouldn't imagine that she actually eats rocks. I'm gonna sneeze, hold on. Bless me. Abnormally hobbies? A little bit, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think my hobbies are kind of normal. Do you make money as vendor at cons? Like a little. A little. Let's put it this way, right? I make like I don't make a lot of money on YouTube. This is kind of just like shenanigans, and everyone who pays me is as thank you very much. You don't get anything out of it really. It's just like vibes. But like I make at least minimum wage when I'm at a convention, and so like that's better. That's better. Lottie does like money, but I have to go to the casino. Gotta bet my real Umas. Actually, funny story. I heard Toronto has an Uma Musume like fan group, I guess we'll call them. And I heard they're planning to go to a convention in the summertime and make it real, I guess. They're cosplaying the Umas, and they're gonna race somewhere for horse racing gambling. Just for funsies. I think that's really funny to me. I think that's really awesome. I don't think I'll be around for that, unfortunately, but I'll see if I have a friend who can record that for me. I'll take when will you be a horse girl? That's a good question, isn't it? I never really thought about that. Maybe the day I sprout ears on the top of my head. Yeah. That seemed like a pretty good time. But yeah, no, any else I was thinking? You gotta train out girl, you need to get yoked. We need the big cash money. I mean, I used to do cross-country marathon running when I was like, what, 11? So, you know, that's something. That's something. Show me Cube Room layouts. I don't have a Cube Room layout because I haven't finished the quest yet, and they won't let me make any of the new stuff yet. So that's something that has happened. Yeah. First girl, linear, what you prefer? Those are your roleplay choices. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the aesthetic of like the Playboy bunny girl, alright? The very classic bunny outsuit. I really like the aesthetic of it, so I have to see that one. It doesn't really help that I don't like the Uma uniform that much. That's all my bad though. It unlocks literally right after this best cutscene if I recall correctly. That's so sad. Last time I think I was on a really bad time crunch, so we had to end really early. Damn, that sucks. Anyway, let's get that. I like how the quest is like, oh, you should go talk to Tangtang. And where is she? Did she turn into a slab? That she wrote her name? Did she put her? Oh.
该和你们说什么？我也以为我做好了准备。
Oh my god, she turned into the slab. Oh my god, she turned into the slab. Sorry, bad time to laugh, but shout out reverse bunny girl outfits from my fellows of culture. Reverse bunny girl outfits? Like, the arms and legs are covered, but nothing else?
再给我点时间，我得先收拾好他留下的烂摊子，安顿好寨里的兄弟姐妹。抱歉，黑面纱，你帮了我这么多，但我却失约了。
Hey, Stephen, good to see you. No, also don't look at Okay, I'll take your, yeah, sure, whatever, for sure, dude. I'll shout out to Tang's VA, so true. Bad time? You can share your news, I'll listen. Where'd she go?
也别把他逼得太紧，相信他吧。
She might have turned into that brick, though.
汤汤是放不下清波寨的，原本追随阮姨的寨民，估计也乱成一团了。先离开这里吧，我们要告知米芾和庄天师所有的事情，还有。
You know, it kind of sucks being the leader of a side clan, and then realizing that your personal drama is getting broadcast to not only like the entire city, but also like the government. You have news? Well, you can share your news. You can share your news. Oh shoot! Wait. Sorry, hold on. Bad time. Oh my god! Look at him! Oh my god! I didn't realize that his hair is kind of rainbow highlights. That's kind of cute, actually.
我是来吊唁朋友的。
Reverse uncover everything but the area that's reserved, but reverse makes it. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
不就是你干的吗？
His eyes are kind of scary.
你并不相信我，在你眼里，现在的我是什么模样呢？
I don't, buddy. I have no eyes. I cannot see.
伪善、狡诈、残忍，是造成这一切的罪魁祸首。无论你怎么想，我都承认。
Why does he look so sad? Melancholic? What's the word? What's the word for this face? This is like a man who is like crawling back to you after like, you know, after a breakup, right? He's like, oh no, I just wanted to apologize for everything I've done. That's kind of vibe. That's kind of vibe. He's the king of bag posting. Kind of. Also, his earrings, they're so stupid. Are they screws? Are they screws because of Edmund? Because Edmund's an engineer and he's sorry, that's a really funny thing about that. The concept of this emo, like, nicely dressed fella being so broken up over his ex that he puts on stupid earrings.
我们已经站在对立面了。我说什么都是苍白的辩词。仇恨的双方是很难互相理解的。那么，捕食者与被捕食者呢？造物主与造物呢？
Vague bagels.
请
Color
原谅
paste.
我会继续与你为敌，也可能会伤害到你珍视的人和事。
Bro, please tell me more. He really is vague posting, huh?
只是，至少请你相信。
Is Berlica wrong? Never hard to share. I mean, girl's a heartbreaker. You know, it is what it is.
我所做的一切，都是为了文明的存续。
Damn, that's kind of cool. I want that thing. Can I have your triangle? I want that triangle portal thing. It looks so cool. Perlica's Edmund's daughter? Don't you mean ex-daughter? Sorry, it's not funny. It's really funny to me though. Like, do you always saying the funny words? No worries, I got you.
没什么需要准备的，让你的人别再躁动。
Girl,
杀戮不是目的，
I'm not gonna lie, from that angle, she looks
只要
kind of
让
chopped.
息壤看瘫痪，一样能完成任务。
Ex-daughter, where does that come from? I mean, Nameless Hound said that she was the daughter, so if she has to be an ex of some kind, you know, she must be the ex-daughter.
当然，我也随时能动手撕开盛大裂隙。
The very large rift.
我会想办法尽快做到。我不想看你的那副表情。
This is so funny. Since Emma lost memory, she's ex now. Yeah. Since, you know, if your parents don't remember you, are you still their kid? Right? That's kind of philosophical question. This guy, dude. It pains me to witness that expression on their face. Yeah, whatever, bro. Whatever. Yes? Okay, well... I'm happy you think that way. How are things going, Enmin? What about Tangtang Shell, right? But right, if he refuses to back down, he's dead. Something's happened. Whoa. Whoa. I thought Mifu and Tangtang were on good terms now. What happened? And now Mifu's like, oh yeah, no, he deserved to die. What the hell, bro? Left behind the loyalists won't get that easy. Don't know if the little kitty can handle them. Please keep an eye on the kitty if you got time. Don't have a chance to see me old lesson. Make some mill. Drowning in water? Yeah, it tends to happen that way. That tends to be what it is. Oh shit, we really actually can get the next AIC, huh? Well, I'm a little bit worried about this. A little, to be honest. TBH. There, but that wasn't right. Yeah. Ignore a story, come from the factory. I see. I gotta unlock all the little guys first. The little yellow guys. I will get all this first though. And conduits. I don't know what the conduit is. Fluid mode for the refining unit, sure. Brain's gonna die. Don't worry, we got about 3 hours. Well, 2 hours now. Because I yapped too much. Thanks, thanks, I guess? Question mark. Get Cuprium parts. Let's go find Tangtang first. I think that's more important. I'll also go back up because I remember Steven said that news. I still don't know how much HG is. Is that Hypergriff? Like Arknights, like the Arknights publisher? Like my batteries like with the syringes are driving me nuts. I'm kind of worried about that, to be honest. I'm kind of worried. Homegirl? Oh. I see. I can't keep up with this kind of young person slang. I'm getting too old. Never mind the fact that I turned, what, 5 this year? Hyperglyph. Look at this going factory. Oh, it's empty. It is empty. Or monument, simulation, training, whatever. Nothing important. Okay. They broke up after 2 months. Happens. Yes, young love. That's what they say. I am... bleh. I keep forgetting how annoying it is for all these, like, reward things. But anyway. You're getting too old. You're not even 20. No, I am well past 20 now. I'm on 20 episode. I'm on like season 15, something like that. Broke their heart. That sucks. This is why your relationships when you're as a young person, if you don't know what you value in your life, it never works out well. It never works out well. I told her like the first time they broke up. It's her first relationship too. Damn. Sucks. Imagine having a first relationship. Really, one criminal.
Subject to possible attacks.
黑面煞，您怎么来了？
Working for the sheep.
出事后，大当家整天忙得不见人影，有时我们也不清楚他在哪里。
She tells me, oh yeah, he probably never loved me. Oh yeah, I mean, it's not normal for a lot of relationships. It's been 2 months. Yeah, I think like when people don't know how to do relationships, there's kind of like only 2 routes. One is I have to think about this actually because I've I've never been in a relationship like that. Hyper love? Yeah. I think with young people, it's like people really like the idea of dating and love and stuff. But it's like, what if you hate the person? Right? It's like, oh yeah, we're dating, you know? We get to hang out together and like, you know, the way that they pay for food for me makes me really happy and I feel like I love this person. But it's like, but on the other hand, you know, they forgot my birthday, they forgot Christmas, they've never asked me out on a date first. It's always me the one who has to ask. They hate all my friends, you know, etc, 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 whole laundry list of things. But and then you're like, oh, but I like them a lot. I think that's a really how do I say? I don't that fascinating. They've been together for 11 years. Is Loki love bombing her? I'm not gonna lie. Sylvie had a ring for her? That's crazy. Oh, different person. Okay, okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like one has a one white boy that's toxic. I see. I don't know. I think when it comes to like toxic relationships, all right, I think a lot of it comes down to like being kind of immature. It's like, oh, this is how a relationship should work. All right, I don't really feel like anyone goes into it with the intent of being manipulative or anything. All right, but it's like, oh, you know, I feel like I should do all these things for my partner, and then you kind of get bored of it because it's like, well, why am I putting in so much effort? Chandler Yellow is 3 years older than her. Is that problematic in this economy? I don't remember. Some people do. Oh yeah, no, I know some people do, right? I just think, with the amount of people I've heard that are manipulative partners, I think it really just comes down to like immaturity. She's a sophomore. Yeah, I mean that seems reasonable, right? That doesn't seem that big. That's fine. Right? I think age differences only really matter when you're like freshly 18, or like the age difference is more than like 5 years. I don't know. Relationships are weird, guys. I wouldn't recommend them to my, well, I would recommend most friendships, so never mind. Would have Stockholm syndrome after being trapped under trash can. Friend group I was in with her is also dying out. That happens. I feel like I've lost a lot of friend groups since like COVID. It's like, so you know how a lot of businesses died because of COVID? My friend groups are the same. And I need to go get therapy. Is that related? Sorry for laughing. Is that related? That's just really funny. Out of context. I'm sorry for laughing. But yeah, no, I mean, I have autism. Sorry, I don't want to be mean. I was gonna say something really mean. And ADHD, yeah. I think having like mental, I don't want to call them disorders because I feel like it's like a I feel like it's a like being neurodivergent does make things really hard, especially if you're participating in society, right? And I think therapy does help with that. If you need to figure out, if you need help figuring out how to navigate that, right? We are moving away from the T. We are moving away from the T. And you're leading towards the circle. I think there's a lot of thoughts I have about that actually. Anyway, you want some backstory? No, I'm good. I'm good. If you want to, you can. I'm probably just gonna continue. Low key.
那他有主动联系过你吗？
Therapy don't do nothing. I think therapy depends. It depends on the individual and like the therapist that you have.
这下难办了。
But like the thing with therapy is, because as far as I'm aware, right, therapy specifically, and especially talk therapy, it's all about getting you to like understand your feelings. And if you like, it helps for people who don't understand their vibes, right? So the legendary girl gossip. maybe. For our spectators, some random comments about things that get brought up. Yeah. I get it. Like I think for therapy, because like, how do I say? Some people don't know what they think, and that's why they're sad, right? Being unclear, right? Like not knowing who you are in this world or whatever, and that's where like talk therapy can help. But I think for a lot of other people who do know exactly what they think and why they think that, therapy is a lot less helpful. It has to do with like I don't know, different kind of therapy, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a therapist. I heard that there's different kind of therapy for different kinds of people, especially for like they call it cluster B disorders. All right, that's a whole worm of cans that I have never opened. So yeah, let's not share our personal info. So let's chill out there.
要不您先问一下大当家，看个情况。
You beat Hades? That's awesome. Happy for you. I think I still haven't beat Hades, actually. Didn't we play it like 3 years ago? That's really funny, actually. I had a friend who reached out to me a while back saying like, oh yeah, you played Hades, right? Yeah, I just beat Hades too. And I was like, oh, that's fun. I mean, this dark mask sees your audience. Man. Didn't toast you back?
黑面纱，我就跟您说实话吧，大当家确实嘱咐过。
She left us on red? Didn't we gave her like 2 seconds? We gave her like 2 seconds to reply. I don't know if that means she left us on red. I think that just means we're too impatient. Also, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, using the word toast instead of text is actually really cute. Cause what's it called? The thing, the social media site they use is called Baker, right? That's cute. That's cute. That's cute.
如果有人来找，要么帮忙干活，最起码踩上99999个穷野参。
I don't want an immediate response from tangtang. You think she's chronically online? Nah, she's not like us. She actually goes outside and does things. What's the significance of Baker? Well, you see how it's like. Let me put on my conspiracy hat right now. But you know how social media apps are generally named based on the how do I say? Social media apps are like they exemplify the kinds of media that you want to share on there, right? And so like Twitter is like, oh, you're just tweeting into the void, right? Nobody, doesn't matter if anyone listens to you, but sometimes people do and they'll sing back to you, right? Instagram is all about instant, the instant of the instant that you gram something, yeah. Whereas Baker is called Baker because they're in poverty and they really need food and bread. This is a wheat-based society, I guess. Bread tastes good? Yeah, that's all the significance of it. Have you seen Tom and Kun's B-side? I really like Tom and Kun's B-side. I think it's one of my favorite anime this season, but there's a lot of good anime this season, so.
What?
Sourdough, the cult of the bread world. True. I'm not gonna lie, though. How do I say? I don't know if you guys know about this. There's this really interesting historical tidbit that I've discovered a while back about, like, bread societies versus, like, rice societies. You know? The fact they're wheat. That's so funny. I like so anyway. Basically, theory goes is that because wheat is such a like an easy crop to grow and it's so easy to make your own bread, like these societies who make a lot of wheat tend to be more individualistic, whereas rice societies, because rice is really hard to grow and you essentially can't make rice without the help of like all your neighbors. Rice societies tend to be more collectivistic. That's interesting. That's tea, guys. In case you ever wanted to know why your neighbor hates you, it's because your ancestors made bread. Toasting people equals bread equals baker? Maybe. That's another way you can think about it, yeah. To be honest though, I don't know what the lore for baker is. I think it just exists right now. Why would they choose that name? I'm not really sure. Rice cars are like rice patties? Yeah, but also it's like really hard work to like farm rice. Right? Like if you sit in the water, if you sit in like muddy water for too long, you'll get all sorts of infections on your legs and stuff, right? For example, it's also just really tiring to trudge through like mud all the time. Have these people never heard of potatoes? I think potatoes is also very much of an individualistic crop though, to be fair. I think what like wheat and wheat and rice societies are generalizations, but I think potatoes fall into the wheat category. But potatoes are awesome. I love potatoes. I think potatoes are some of my favorite tubers in the world. Potatoes are from Americas. Weren't they also a thing in Europe? Or am I just crazy? It grows better than wheat? No, potatoes are awesome. Potatoes are so good. They're introduced after Columbian exchange. Interesting. Growing rice is easy, planting and harvesting rice is the hard part. Yeah, exactly. Planting rice, planting rice fields, picking the rice, milling the rice, and then you have to eat the rice? Aw, man. Potatoes are Irish and brought to America? That's what I thought. Right? I can understand that there's like different varieties of potatoes that kind of evolved separately a little. But like, I don't know the history of potatoes, man. This isn't what I studied in school. Latte, can you get me an internship? Listen, you overestimate my capabilities to get you a job. I grew up next to rice farm until I was like 5. I mean, 5 whole years of rice. That's pretty sick. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to mix my liquid so it doesn't taste too sweet. Okay. Latte, am I still an intern? No, you've been promoted to, a guy. Yeah! You're a professional guy now. Whoa! Oh yeah, speaking of, I think I wanted to distribute some extra memberships. Because I forgot to do that at the beginning of the month. I'll do that now. Yeehaw. Like you're trying to damn chili peppers until the Americas? Yeah, honestly, I think following the culinary journey is really difficult for me. Because it's like once you have to think about how recent a lot of your classic foods are, you start wondering like what was the point of it all, right? I don't know. Anyway, I did build a guy now. Anyway, congrats to Nameless Hound, Soul X, Cleo 4237, Victor Rodrigo, and Pixel Short M. Alright? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, good numbers. Bro, I never get it. That's unfortunate. What's my rank? I don't know. I mean, you want to be, you've been promoted to customer. Congratulations! Woo! As head guy, you were all latte links. I mean, that's a good word too. Using the hypervision of my language, so I learned about food history. Yeah. Carbonara is only a couple decades old. Yeah, stuff like that, right? Carbonara feels like a very classic dish, but it's very recent, right? Most French food is pretty recent, I would think. Like things like tiramisu is like 100 years old max. Stuff like that. It's like that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. All right. Bolognese. That's crazy. Bolognese. Is that what they call it? Bolognese. Tiramisu is younger than that. I mean, my point is like pretty much everything that was worth eating was made in the last 100 years. Hell yeah, I'm always right. Congratulations. Happy for you there. Anyway, sorry.
要么去仓库拿面锣，绕着寨子一直喊，
Sorry.
一支穿云箭，汤汤大当家。
I just remembered. Have you guys seen that one guy? I think maybe they're on TikTok, but I've also seen them on YouTube Shorts who makes like Great Depression era food. It's actually really sad. But like Great Depression era food's really fun for me. Like there's one that I watched. There's like water pie, right? The vibe of it is that you literally just like it's so sad. Because fruits are too expensive, they made a pie crust and then they just basically filled it with sugar water. Yeah. This is a bolognese. The old days mostly had stew. Well, I think more than that, right? Most of the food that was worth eating was monopolized by rich people, right? And also like specifically with white people food, and like French people food in particular, they had a very strong ideology that your food wasn't good if you had to spice it, and I think that also plays a part into it. Like why they don't have good peasant food. Good evening, latte. Enjoy your water pie. Thank you, Audrey. Is gruel and roasted food? I think you could have a little of both. Stews also seems pretty easy. Sorry, little Nord. More depression. Just cheer up. You're so right. You're so right. We made zero progress in Enfield. Unfortunately, are you new here? I know you've been here for the last like a few months, but are you new here? Sorry. Anyway. 90% food is just rolling soup. Exactly. Soup is just stew, but like more water. Anyway, I would recommend checking into that channel that does Great Depression era food because I think it's really funny and also tragic, right? But also they're mostly gone now, so I can laugh about it. The government says to be the circus. Yeah. And so food isn't supposed to cost money. You're yapping stream with a hint of gameplay? Exactly. But, you know, just to fill our gameplay quota, we'll continue just a little bit.
等到诚意打动了大当家，他自然会出来踹你两脚。
You watched my channel for less than a month? There's no way, right? I feel like you've been around longer than that. Even just a bit. Got another idea? I kind of forgot what he said. Sorry, hold on. The directional channel is called great. Oh, banging the gone. Okay. Do you have a faster idea? So many new eggs, it's true.
我是真不想被大当家踢屁股。
Can you do a chatting account reviewing stream? I feel like my account reviewing stuff and like chatting stuff isn't always the most interesting. I don't really know how to say it, right? I feel like my gimmick literally is just like, oh, you open a game and then we yap for 2 hours. But it's different if you go into a thing with the explicit intention of talking, right? I don't know how to describe it, but like every time I think of something like, oh, I want to talk about this, I never do, right? Most streams, like you guys probably have heard about how streamers like plan their streams a little bit. Every time I go into a stream with a concept of like, oh, I'm gonna talk about XYZ, right? This thing happened. I pretty much never end up talking about that thing, except like briefly, maybe. A greatly reduced population number and enables survivors of the strongest. True, it's true. A lot of these messages goes on insane tangents for 2 hours. Exactly. See, someone gets it. Think someone gets it. It's getting really warm. I've been yapping for so much. So I've been yapping so much that it's getting really warm. We don't need plans where we're going. Yeah, right. Anyway, my point is, I've never had a planned stream that went well. So, per chance, dude, per chance. Let's do a favor for us, little buddy. I gotta fulfill the gameplay quota though.
自己听到了，那就是另一回事儿。No， 这附近呢，有人才见过大当家。
I think I see her. Her little ears. Anyway. Away from Taoism, what ancient purple one? Honestly, I've been really interested in like theology a little bit. The chill show stream, please. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, You know, if I worried about yapping, I sure would do it a lot less. I heard theology. I've been a little bit interested in it lately. Oh, we had to look for her ourselves, dude. Let's talk Eastern and Western religion. I don't know a whole lot about theology. I should preface with that. Like, it's very much one of the things I have a lot less information about. What the heck? She's just in the area and we gotta find her? Okay. That's fine. How gods shape the environment and how people change their gods? That is true. Those are things that those are oh. Suspicious looking guy. People look suspicious. I find how he's found listening. Oh shit, we're gonna be just like those guys in the last episode. Where they're hiding in the things and they heckin' died. I'll tell you, that's 2 months ago. See, I was right. That was 2 months ago. That's pretty. That's a while. Vision's game. You can't convince me otherwise. I think. How do I say? I had a conversation with this with my friends a while back, and we kind of got into an argument about it. But that's neither here nor there. I think religion serves as a really good way to guide people through their lives, and if it's like, how do I say? It adds a lot of meaning for a lot of people, and it provides like a lot of community for a lot of people. And I think in that sense, religion is something that's really important and valuable in society. But on the other hand, like, I think believing in a theology, and like believing in a religion necessarily is kind of like by nature false, I guess, in a sense, right? Like you're just putting blind faith into something, essentially, is the vibe. But I think what it represents for people is really useful. If you need religion for the purpose of life, you're just weak. I don't think that's true. Right? I don't think that's true. Because a lot of people believe in something, right? What? I'm so proud of my stream. That's a crazy thing to say. In Master Travel, not part about a lot of the same, but what Exit says about why we pray and why we believe and stuff. Yeah. I get it. Like, how do I say? I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. But like, even for people who don't believe in gods or like a god or a theology or something like that, I think a lot of people like will still believe in something, right? The argument that I had that we had an argument about, or it's like the take that I had that we had an argument about with my friends was that things like being a part of a fandom, for example, like being an esports fan, for example, is kind of is like pseudo-religious, right? And we can talk about that a lot, but I think like the feeling of wanting to be part of a community and a big group of people who believe similar things to you is something that's really important for a lot of people. And I think for that reason, it's important, right? Be it religious or community, like games, TV, etc. That's what I'm saying, right? And I think religion is a really great place for community to be built. The Sonic the Hedgehog religion. Guys, would you believe? Guys, we should discuss. Do we think the lobster? Do you guys know the lobster, the great lobster god religion? Do you think that's a religion or do you think it's a cult? Right. Sorry, that's a. Don't answer that. It's a joke. Is it a joke if people do genuinely believe in the purpose, though? Right. One, all religions are a cult. I don't believe that's true. The only child chose with great puns. When they get mad at me, the lobster. I mean, I'm sure they could find another idol to follow, so it's fine. Probably. Like, there's a limit to it. Is there? Is there? I think just want to make a joke out of religion. It's possible that was the origin of it, but like the thing is, I heard that they have like scriptures and stuff, so if people do practice that, like, you know, as a religion, does that make it a religion, right? If you practice an religion ironically, does that mean you're religious, or does it mean you're not religious because you're doing it ironically, right? But if you still do it, like you still practice it, right? You know? Thinking emoji. It's a religion. There's a cult that would beat me up. The values religion provides is foundational to a culture and society. Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking too, right? I think culture and religion are like fundamentally connected. Because the way that humanity operates and the way we operate is like in groups is we gravitate towards like the concept of religion, I guess, right? That's kind of the vibe I was thinking. It's really interesting. Scouting for society, if it's foundational or being it would destroy society. Yeah. I mean, I'd have to think about that. Look at the state of America is, and that should make it clear enough. I mean, I don't know, because religion is human weakness and strength. I don't know if I agree with that one either. Again, I'm not like a theology buff or anything like that. I do this as a hobby. No. I like thinking about like culture and stuff and like people like that way. To reshape it. Yeah. There's an idea of fandoms being pseudo-religion. I was shaking their hand. I was the one that said fandoms are kind of like pseudo-religious, right? Because there's like this shared thread of your belief, but not only that, you have like a value system, a community. You have a philosophy maybe that you follow, right? It's really interesting. I think it's really interesting. Religion greatly reduced technological advancement. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think religion helps advancement, but what does, like, how do I say? If we were to talk about things that like stop or like stem past like technology, okay, hold on. Technological advance is a whole can of worms in itself. Hold on, let me like my brain's. I think technology advancement isn't necessarily the greatest good. And that's something I want to like dissect at some point, but maybe not right now. Religion is just technology in and of itself. It depends on how you define technology, I think, with that one. Religion's entire purpose is giving direction to society. Would I say that? Is religion's entire purpose to give the direction to society? Religion doesn't, like, religion isn't a necessarily an institution, right? Religion isn't necessarily a thing that believes things, right? People who follow religions use it as a tool maybe for finding direction. But I don't know if the religion itself has that meaning. I'm not sure. I don't think about that. They banned a lot of things to stop technological advancement and call it a heresy. I think it depends on the religion. And I think it depends on the people running the religion. Like, Catholicism, like, yeah. But, like, I think there's a lot more nuance to it than just, like, religion and technology being polar opposites. We should slow technology advancement. Humanity can't figure out what to do with tech. That is something I also think, yeah. Religion's a belief system typically using a higher power. Yeah. Issue is greed that comes with it. Are you saying the greed that comes with religion? The Cold tech is in a Cold War state because China is going to push regardless of the consequences. I have slightly different thoughts about technology, actually. I think for what it is right now, okay, to talk, we'll walk a little bit away from religion because I think that's a bit of a big boat that I'm not equipped to discuss with it like a perfect nuance. All right. Oh, technological advancement? Yeah, for sure. I think right now the advancement of technology is almost synonymous with economic growth. And, like, in that sense of, like, capitalism, right? Oh. Sorry. But yeah, about technology in recent years, we've made way less technological advancements in the last 10 years than we have in the last 20 years. Right? Specifically what I'm trying to say is new technology right now, it's not really new, right? All this technology that we have right now, like including AI systems, including like chatbots, whatever, we've had this for like 50 years or so. And so there's something really interesting to be said about how technology growth has slowed down. It takes time to figure out what to do when people don't care to stop and think about their implications. I don't think it's that people don't take time to figure out what to do. It's more like governments and big companies choose not to because it's more economically profitable to not think about the consequences, to not need to deal with that, right? Why would you, like, it's like the saying, like, ask for forgiveness, not permission. I think a lot of big companies really like that. Really like that phrase. So she said the coin, yeah, GDP is up for people who are into big tech. The average Joe isn't experiencing monthly growth. Yeah, for sure. I think like, but the thing is, right? I was not that I know anything about economics either. Like, I think I'm very understudied in economics specifically. But most of the GDP, like most of the wealth flowing around is within the same group of people, right? The wealth that's going around most of the world is circulating through the same few big players, right? And that's one of the biggest problems with like economics right now and like anti-capitalism. So one of the biggest problems with capitalism is that there is no trickle-down economics, right? The money that is like you think you guys know how like was it OpenAI that had Sora? They shut down Sora, and Disney had to rescind their $1 billion deal with Sora, the video generation app. What the heck were they doing with $1 billion just sitting there anyway, right? Like Disney had like I may be lying here, but I know a lot of like entertainment companies in general had a lot of layoffs, and I wonder if Disney's one of them, right? Like they stopped hiring 2D animators for one. But that's money that could have been going to, you know, workers in society, for example. It's all Reagan's fault. I'm done. Nice. Inventors in the net. What else have we done today? Imagine any of their problems that we have because of their work. The vision's limited to some fantasy. Never consider the worst thing that could happen. And to be fair, though, I think it's not necessarily the fault of the people who created the internet to like predict the future and see what we've done with it, right? I don't think it's necessarily their job, especially because of, well, I have another can of worms there, so maybe I won't touch that right now. So right now, these old numbers that you lucky, yeah. Most successful political discussion I had in like a year. I think one thing you have to consider is that if you're worried about having political discussions with people that you know, I think a lot of people find it like hard to discuss things that are broad, right? I think a lot of people just gotta go by. That's crazy. I think a lot of people like have trouble seeing the whole picture, and like once you start seeing more of it, it starts to feel worse, right? And kind of like ignorance is a way to stop yourself from spiraling for a lot of people, and I think that's really fair. They perfected Sora models, so now they're saving the system for its best use, making propaganda. Honestly, I wouldn't be that surprised if that was the case. Have you guys heard about how bad American censorship is? I personally haven't seen because I'm not in the Americas, but I've heard a lot of stories about people on American, like, you know, in American soil using VPNs and finding out so much more of like the news in the world, right? I think there's a lot of really interesting things there. But also just like it's a huge unmitigated mess. I don't think it's about perfecting anything, granted. For things like a video training model, for something like Sora for a video training model, you don't have to make it perfect. You just have to make it believable by most people. You guys might have heard the statistic that like most of Gen Z is able to identify an AI generated image or video, and that they're able to and they like generally trust it less. But the thing is, young people have so little economic power that what we think and what we consume doesn't really matter, right? What does matter is getting maybe your parents' generation, the people who have a little bit more savings, to spend their money, right? Maybe you've heard of like early on there was like AI generated voice scams where they would play your voice to your parents or something, saying like, "Oh, I'm in trouble. Please send me $3,000," right? That was a scam that got a lot of people because they heard the child's voice, right? Good enough to be consistently convincing, yeah. But anyway, back to what I was saying a little bit earlier, though. What was it? Something about economics. Oh yeah, technology. Yeah, no, I think in general, like, technology advancement, I think, like, sorry, my brain worms are, like, working overtime. They haven't been fed in, like, 2 hours. You pull people use the sword and they feel swords but it's good and it's better than they can do themselves. It's actually good. That's true. A lot of people do feel that way. We're reaching terms of doing a whole lot of things with a whole lot of sorry, because you can. Everything's getting used to more business being in the market. That's also fair. Seem more intelligent than the users of the AI. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people, for sure, like a lot of people, it's like if it does good enough, then that's all you need. But the thing about technology, I just feel like right now we're kind of at like a stagnating point, a plateau with how much we're able to innovate. Right now, our best computers are essentially running on like technology that only one factory can produce. Right, one of the points, or like the theoretical points of capitalism, is for competition in the market. So, you know, you can just you can have multiple avenues to pursue like further technology growth. But the thing is, everything is so centralized in a couple of businesses that frankly have more power than like governments. Most governments in the world, actually. Because all that power is so centralized and all that information is so centralized, it's really difficult for us to produce more technology. But the thing is, but that would mean that like the purpose of technology now is maintaining that, right? And that's kind of the problem. Like when Google started adding ads to all their web pages on their Google searches, right? I think that's probably one of the signs. Tech hasn't stagnated, it's actually accelerating. I'd have to see where. I'd have to see where you're talking about. You look like a demon? Oh, sorry, my bad. Sometimes I think too hard and I start staring up at the ceiling. Anyway. Yeah, no, I like from my understanding, technology is very much stagnated, right? If we're talking about like the newest, greatest technology, right? AI models, right? Like video models, image models, those things have always been around. They've been around for like 50 years, right? Moore's law, we're going faster than Moore's law now. I might be misremembering what Moore's law is. We're advancing more and more with each year. I don't think that we're not advancing. We'll say that way. I think we're advancing a lot slower though, right? Let's put it this way. Like from the 2000 starting from like the 1980s actually, we developed the internet. It spread across the entire world. We developed like instant messaging platforms. We developed video sharing, right? Stuff like that was really impressive. 20 years ago, we didn't have many smartphones. Oh yeah, no, I think 20 years ago, like up to like 2015, technology was going really fast. But ever since 2015, I feel like it's slowed down significantly, right? That's kind of the point. I think like from the 1980s to like the 2010s, I think was the golden age for technology. But I think right now it's slowing down a lot. Right, I think we even had like this kind of like what do you call it? Like it's like I don't remember the specific term for it, but we have the technology that we use for AI generation. We had that in the stages of the earliest computers, right? But like the last 10 years, we haven't really had any major improvements in smartphones aside from making smaller cameras, making it run faster, maybe having like physically better hardware. But like, what else have we improved on in technology, right? One of the reasons AI models have gotten better is mostly just because of how much data we're pouring into it. I think something else is just going to making super intelligence that dims it all. I don't think that's the case. I really don't think it is because I was doing some research. Okay, I sound so pretentious when I say that. Never mind. But the way that AI models work, they're not as smart as a lot of people think they are. Right? We technically can't carry smaller ships or anything. Yeah. You can see smartphones are stagnating. PC is stagnating. Some aspect technology familiar is stagnating, but it's because they're done. We moved on to other things. I understand that, right? And I think that's reasonable and fair to say. But like, what aspects would you be talking about, right? We found stuff 50 years ago. It's like we have stones back in the Stone Age. We've done nothing to prove hammers since. That's true, and I see where you're coming from. But I think for like, again, we'll go to AI because it's the biggest thing. But the primary reason AI models have gotten better since 50 years ago is just because we've had more information to put into it, right? And also we've had more researchers working on it. That's fair. Like the physical software is getting better, but compared to the leaps in technology that we made like 20 years ago, I would say it's much slower. All right. Heck, like we could even look at video games. We could look at video games. Man, we figured out realistic graphics in video games in the 2010s, and look at where we are now. We with our ray tracing. Oh yeah. I can tell you that's not all there is to it. I think right now, the field where the greatest like leaps in technology are being made, the most advanced technology being made is surveillance, right? I think when it comes to consumer grade products, there is very little that has improved in the last 10 years. What has improved significantly is military information. And this is something I know for sure. When we get clankers, we'll get back to this topic. I sure hope not. Aside from me, I'd like to know that the technology is increasing in the last 5 to 10 years. Yeah. I mean, well, math and science and understanding data has drastically improved since 50 years ago. I think that a little bit depends. When it becomes interesting to watch. When it comes to like understanding math and science and data, I don't know if we can say that we've learned drastically more over the last 10 years compared to the last 20 years. Because I don't know that much, but generally research is much slower than progress, I guess is the vibe I want to go for here. And because research is so much slower than progress, where the stuff that we can act on is functionally like 15 years old at least. All right. If you look at very modern research, a lot of it's not actionable because we don't know what the consequences of it are. We don't know what that entails, right? And so that's something that is worth considering, at least when it comes to that, and its applicability into like AI systems, for example. I guess it's a little bit different when it comes to like coding, for example. When it comes to like training and fine-tuning an AI model, well, because I think that comes down more into like the amount of time that you can put into it. No, the guys would love this debate. Maybe. We are still trying to find the end of pi. Are they still trying? I'm not actually sure. What if they just gave up? Sorry, anyway. My point is though, like, when it comes to like AI systems, right? We'll take OpenAI as an example. I think the number they have out is like they have 3 trillion parameters or something like that. The main way you can improve that is putting time into it, right? If you have 3 million different or 3 billion different data points, we'll say, like even as a minimum, the most you can do to improve that is just to put more time into it and to like, you know, fine tune it some more. But it's not physically improving the technology, if that makes sense. 15 years ago that we were able to capitalize on today. I just feel like we aren't. That's kind of the thing. I kind of feel like we aren't really capitalizing on the research from 15 years ago. Like at least like specifically with AI models, I'm pretty sure most of the improvements in there is coming from straight up just more time that they put into it. All right. I know researchers, people that research AI models, like, so that's different from people who work for like OpenAI, for example. People who research are always looking for more ways to optimize the process and make it a little bit better. But we're not really close to like sentient AI right now because that's just not what we have, right? There's a video on my YouTube feed today. It's called "Humans Do Not Work Off Back Propagation." So that's something worth looking at if that's what you're interested in. I think it's just a personal bias. Maybe it could be. I just feel like there's a lot more really interesting stuff that could have happened. That could have happened instead. It's kind of the vibe. But no, where I think technology has improved significantly is surveillance. One of the examples you can look at is Palantir. How Palantir is a company that was able to earn so much money, right? You guys maybe have heard it like a couple of times, unless you're like really politically active. Then you probably heard of Palantir a lot. But Palantir is a surveillance software company that is exclusively used by really rich people to optimize their income, essentially. Right? Where are my dang flying cars? Well, that's the thing we're getting into, right? Like, people, rich people, companies don't really make things for consumers anymore because that's not where the money is, right? I was reading a article in, well, is it an article? What can I call it? I guess it's an article. I was reading an article in Chinese that basically was talking about how the reason capitalism is done poorly is because it's nihilistic by nature, right? Western economics is all about getting more money for the sake of getting more money. It's not that the money is useful or for anything, right? The idea is just that you want to increase your income, and it's very nihilistic that way, right? I'm not gonna say like what I think about the Chinese like economic system because I don't know very much about it, but I think that's a really good like microcosm of what's happening. The LM model is what you mentioned. It's not thinking, it's not rationalizing, it's not vibing, it's not intelligence, but it looks intelligent to some degree. I agree with that. Cars would be a nightmare for the legal system. That's also true. We have those today. The flying cars are called planes. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole worm of cans there too. But yeah, no. Surveillance technology, I know, it's kind of scary. I worry about this a lot, actually. Like specifically something I've been thinking about, because on one hand, I think we've been kind of desensitized to the idea of surveillance. In that, like, it's fine, right? Like, whatever. Google knows my viewing habits, whatever. But then when it starts affecting your personal life, right? Like, you know, adaptive pricing, for example, it becomes really problematic for the average person. A worm of cans, a worm full of cans. You don't know the worms I've seen. You can blame Meta for it, as it turns out they did it. It's not just Meta, it's every single big tech company, right? And a lot of it is, like, from what I'm aware, it is sourced off of Palantir. I know that they have military weapons right now that are helping in global wars that are being used to identify and seek out targets, right, for killing. Where a can's a worm made out of cans? Wait, I could do that. I could make a worm out of cans. Anyway. So I think that's really worrisome for me. Mostly because I feel like it's a huge human rights crisis to have such a robust system that's able to identify and track people over long distances, like across the globe, right? To like find people who maybe didn't even commit a crime, right? And this week we could go into like how justice and like law isn't necessarily moral, stuff like that. Everyone should be angry that Palantir exists. I agree. I just think like there's a lot of it's hard to care for a lot of people, right? It's hard to care. Palantir is paid and organized by Meta. Oh no, a lot of people pay Palantir, right? Google, I'm sure it does, right? Apple, I'm sure it does, right? I wouldn't be surprised if every single big tech company paid for Palantir because it's really useful for them, right? It helps optimize their income. Can't believe they're gonna find out that I don't live in my house. For me, it's not about like what you're physically doing, right? Some people don't really care about that. For me, it's like how the system of exploitation that they're building. Your conspiracy, how can you think that many other companies are? Exactly. We are all conspiracy theorists here. I mean, to be fair, it's not a conspiracy. These are public information if you track it down. But yeah, for me, it's just like, if companies, independent of the government, are able to systematically create, well, like a framework to identify, to exploit, and to, I was going to say the word exploit again, but I already said that, right? But to identify and to exploit individuals, like, indiscriminately, that's really problematic, right? Can't call it a conspiracy theory if it's true, yeah. Hedge funds, not for companies. Well, that's the thing. The hedge funds are also sponsored by companies, all right? Like, hedge funds are owned by other companies that maybe are owned by people that maybe also happen to own like Apple or Google or something like that. Does a public company has enough stock owners contribute to Palantir? Yeah, and I agree, but I just think you might underestimate how much of that is from very well-known people and very well-known sources, right? I don't think your average person is spending enough into stocks to make a dent into a stock market. Well, you're my one trusted news source. You can't be compromised, right? I'm quite compromised in that I'm very much I'm kind of like an extreme leftist for most people. Like even within Canada, I think I'm a little bit too left for them. The Silicon Valley transhumanist techno-utopians, who by the White House and New Money, are really incompetent. They're just looting the place while burning it down. For sure. Every time I see like the stock market go down like 3% and everyone's like, oh wow, like look how much money was burned in the stock market, it really just means that they took like the billionaires took the money out of the stock market. People who are able to make a dent in the stock market, they took their money out. All right, like how do we know that they don't communicate within each other, right? How do we know that they are rival companies, right? How do we know they're not just like little buddies that fight, like, you know, like plot and scheme their way to getting more money, right? You might be led by I think you're all right. Thank you. I think you might be interested in savviness of institutional investors. They know exactly what Palantir is about and they still invested them. I don't think it's that. I don't think they have enough money. I know exactly why like investors are good at what they do. I just think there's way fewer investors and they don't have enough money to make a dent, like big enough like to be like 3% of a company. For example, I'm not trusting your financial overlords. My bad. They're recording when they put in or take in money. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? And so when people say, like, "Oh, look, the stock market's down 3% today," to me, it really just means that, you know, the people who own all the stocks, who own the majority of the stocks, they're just playing with it, right? That's all that means to me. Anyway, that's a lot of depressing stuff. I should also, like, you know, not that I think it'll be problematic because I'm not a big name. I have, what, 2,000 subscribers on youtube.com. All right, but I want to let you guys know, not depressed. I have no will to die. I like my life and I like playing my video games. I do not intend on killing myself. And do people say anything else with that? I think that might be all, right? I think that might be all. Okay, if we're not dying, well, well, I hope so. I sure hope so. In more like close to home news, I guess, about like Canada, I did hear that the American government was thinking about bringing ICE agents to Canada, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You got $5 billion in Palantir. You know exactly what you're getting into. You don't care because you like money more than humanity. No, I do agree with that, right? If you are BlackRock and you have $5 billion in Palantir, like that's fair, right? I just think BlackRock's not the only guys, right? I think Elon Musk, for example, right? We all hate Elon Musk. I'm sure he's also chatting with BlackRock, the guys running BlackRock, saying like, you know what? Let's take our money out of Palantir today, just because it'd be really funny to crash the stock market for a day and let's rebuy it back for a profit. Well, that happens when taking your stuff. Sure, why? Whatever. Canada's already icy as it is. Honestly. I mean, the ice is all melted out by now, but you know, I'd like to keep it that way. Excuse me, huh? That's news to me. I heard something about that. I'm not really sure what it was for. I think it's like a big event happening, maybe. And then they're thinking about sending ice to Canada or something like that. It's ridiculous. And frankly, like, I'm worrying about Canada, but ICE has already been sent to other countries, right? Like, Venezuela, right? You guys heard about what happened with the I think he's the president, not the prime minister. I'm not really sure, but I heard that ICE agents were sent there as well. For who knows why, like to run the country, I guess. But bad. Helping TSA agents, bro. You want to send those guards too? Ugh. Why destroy Mars like we're destroying Earth? Yeah, I think the thing is also, like, you can't really trust billionaires when they say they're working on quote unquote things, right? Because they're not personally working on anything. They're just hiring a bunch of people to do it, and then they're earning some extra money just for funsies, right? They're supposed to be sent as bodyguards. I heard this from a friend of mine, who works in the army. Yeah, anyway. Lots of fun stuff. I want to meet aliens. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure there's no aliens on Mars. That one's a mixed bag. I heard bad and reports, good and bad reports there? Okay. Well, anyway. That friend has some very shady info. Yeah. The aliens want you to think. You're so right. Some fellas are happy about that business. Maybe. I mean, I heard that, like, for some, like, in some respect, right? The guy who ran Venezuela before was a dictator. But on the other hand, it's like, it's kind of unjust to throw a coup and, like, you know, change the government for another country just because you don't like them, right? Like, maybe, like, just because it's more or less valid in this aspect doesn't mean it's always valid. Does that make sense? All right. I just think generally keeping out of another country's personal business is the better thing to do. Smiley face. It is valid though. Well, that's the thing, right? I don't really think it is. Right? I think, like, it's fine to report your neighbors if they're abusing their family, if they're abusing their dog, whatever. But it's not really fine to go into their house, like to break into their house and, like, take the dad away, for example, right? That's, like, there are limits, right? If the guy is being a terrible person, then, like, maybe the United Nations could, I mean, United Nations has other issues in and of itself, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We'll just assume that the United Nations is a perfectly altruistic organization, for the purposes of the discussion. But, well, like, you know, for things like that, it'd be better to, like, go to the UN and discuss, like, things to do there instead of, you know, forcibly advocating the guy. Yes, the Geneva suggestions. Yeah, exactly. Help yourself before you help others. This is also true. For sure, yeah. I think when it comes to, like, meddling in global affairs, though, especially, like, within a single country, you run into really problematic issues, right? One thing that the US in particular has done historically is they really like to raid countries that are not capitalist, right? There's a lot of, like, historically places that were starting to become socialist, right? And the US has, you know, instead of doing nothing, they would invade those countries or, like, organize a downfall for those countries, right? And I have a lot of thoughts about that as well. Like, for me, how do I say? I think it's ridiculous that the US will say, like, oh no, they're becoming a little bit socialist. You know what we should do? We should train some guys to become economists and then tell them to go back home so they can spread our capitalist propaganda, and then tell them to privatize their companies so that they can benefit us, and then we'll overthrow their you know, democratically appointed leader, and then we'll, you know, instate a dictator instead, right? I understand. I don't like that's a good idea. Why are we not banning Sweden or Norway? What you're saying is not that true. Sweden and Norway, I think, have, like, more protection though, right? I'm talking about countries like, I'm blanking on it. South America. I'm blanking on it. What the heck? Oh my god, this is a horrible time to blank on something like that. But there's a huge history of America meddling in countries like that. And frankly, it's not that they're invading, but, like, most of the European Union, who would be more socialist, as you would say, they are becoming more and more capitalist. They are becoming more and more right-wing as we speak, right? If we think about, like, Margaret Thatcher, for example. Every country does it though. I can't say about that actually, because I don't know. This is not something I'm fully aware of, but I know the US in particular does this, like, it's very common, right? This is something done like 30 times in the last, like, 200 years. Oh, shadow political war going on in every country? That is true. That is true. That is true. We do love messing with our South American neighbors. Yeah. Chile, that's the country. Thank you. Thank you, me. All the cool countries do it. Yeah, and I frankly, I just don't think that's good. We probably shouldn't do that. Probably shouldn't do that, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Getting kind of the kind of influence and power is pretty bad. Pretty bad. So it's not about like physically invading them. It's about like the ideological spread, right? And that's, I think, is very problematic. I think it's bad. I'd recommend everyone look up, like, you know, how Pinochet came into rule in Chile. If you guys are a little curious about that, I think it's horrible. Anyway, that's enough yapping. I'm gonna continue the story a little bit.
我总觉得背着二姑娘做这事有点。
二姑娘，你还叫她二姑娘
？Just like just think of a child.
我看这份大礼也该送她一份。给阮。
I'm not gonna lie. I love massive yap tensions. One time, sorry, sidetrack. One time I got a Wordle in like 2 because my frame of reference was Child Genshin Impact, so that is actually kind of true. It's not democracy versus autocracy. It's about what America wants. If you haven't, you refuse to give it to America no matter what your political or economic ideal is. I think that's also true. I think America has a lot of goals, and I think the important point to remember is that no matter what the goal is, America's not really afraid to go through some really unethical means to achieve those, right? Smiley face. The whole Contras thing, I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, Audrey. I just in the case of relief that yeah, yeah, bro has his fist up this entire time. Hashtag goals. Anime cons, and where are you going? Honestly, I'd like to go to more anime cons, but sorry, I felt like the entire train of thought bubbling out of my mouth, so I'm gonna tone down a little bit. But long story short, a guy I know got kind of permabanned from the US because he was trying to sell stuff in America. So I don't think I'll go to America for a while. Not in this admin, not under this administration. You know, not that I like, I guess not that I'm really planning on going to America. Really? But like, was he selling drugs? No, he's selling art. He's gonna go to like an anime convention. I think it was like MegaCon. It's pretty recent. But yeah, no, he got like caught by a random scan or something, and he's basically permabanned from the US, which really sucks. Permabanned from the server. The American server. Anime is the kind of drug. Maybe. You can get banned for selling art. I think it's about like legality of it. A lot of art. Maybe I shouldn't say this on such a big profile stream, but anyway. But basically, there's like a lot of laws around selling stuff in the U.S. The most important one right now is tariffs, right? If you're trying to sell like artwork, right? You'll have to pay a tariff upon entering the country for your art. Right? Because you're importing goods, quote unquote, to the country. And so TSA usually doesn't care, but if you get caught by a random check, for example, sometimes they will care. And this person that I know is really unlucky to get caught in that kind of check. But yeah, one thing is like avoiding tariffs. The other thing is like business licenses. I know that there are some artists that go to the US to sell art that don't have a valid business license for the state that they're selling in. And that's also part of it that also doesn't help. So, smiley face. Let's just get and drink mountain water together. Where are we? Dang. You should come to Canada then. Canada has some mountains. American's fine, you should come. I think America is fine sometimes. I really don't trust going there except for like very short periods of time, or if it's like New York. Like genuinely. I don't really feel comfortable with it. Yeah. That's kind of the vibe. Alright. Especially with how volatile the admin is right now, like the things that happened with the traffic air control, right? That was really unfortunate. And I don't really want to risk that. Smiley face. You can pay the tariff and you'll be fine when you try to scare the taxes, and obviously you get in trouble. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like most artists don't have that kind of money to pay the tariff, right? And most artists don't even make like minimum wage, low key. So it'd be really difficult for a lot of people to pay the tariffs to sell at a convention in the USA. And I think there's like that aspect that you have to consider. Not gonna make profits, so it's not worth it. Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of people who used to sell in the USA no longer do. I don't recommend flying at the moment. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. So, yeah, a lot of hard things. I was maybe like a little bit of lore. I was selling something like last summer. But and basically for a $60 order, like the person paid me $60. I would have to pay like $30 in tariffs, right? That's ridiculous. And that's on top of like shipping and taxes, whatever. That's ridiculous. I think it's so stupid. I think it's so stupid. Anyway. That's awesome. Awesome. Wait, coming back from a week-long overseas trip? Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things like that. Tariffs go hard, yeah. There's a lot of shenanigans, I will say. Okay. Let's go find Tangtang. I turned my audio way too high. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Alright, where are we going? Where would I find a small tiger girl? If I was a small tiger girl, wherefore would I be? Is a play to win server my fault, old lady latte? Well, I mean, it'd be fine if I had the money, right?
留着有什么用呢？阮哥一死，人心都散了。
She got bought by the TSA. Gotta wait for the server wipe. You're so right.
这要走的事，我也不好和大当家提啊。
But yeah, no, I was talking to a prof in general. Just like it's kind of disheartening to see how much like neoliberalism has crept up into society. So anyway, it just makes me sad. It just makes me sad. I won't get soup sad. What the heck? That is sad.
而且，想说也抓不到他呀。这几天我就没见他能坐下歇会儿。
Okay, so she's not at home. I think is what she said. Sorry, I kind of got lost in the sauce. Where else am I supposed to go? Any other guys with yellow? Oh, there we go.
Warning. This area is...
If it's ready, deliver soon. Too soon. Bring it back. She doesn't eat. I'll warm up again. Make it deliver section. You're just bound to take a bite or two.
Subject to possible attack.
Girl's not eating.
大当家太忙了，难找啊。还好，我们知道在哪里。对，哥几个知道。
I think I'm starting to accidentally overhear certain things. It's not all extreme like getting lost in the sauce. True. Imagine not having a supreme chief. The point of it is that we need to find her, no?
大当家最近实在是太辛苦了，整天不见人影。哎，没办法，阮一的手下在招揽人手，说要报复咱们，他心里烦呐。要是有个人能陪大当家说说话就好了。 是啊，有这样的人，大当家也不至于一个人孤零零待在水车边上了。
Oh yeah, couldn't be me. Honestly, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Emma's so stealthy. She kind of blends in with a box, to be honest. She's standing right next to me. What the heck? Water wheel, thanks. Awesome. What if I want Tongue to stand next to me? Do I want to poop? I'm good. Oh, all right. I kind of don't appreciate that these turrets are hitting that guy. I kind of feel obligated to attack him now, but I won't. Girl? Is that Tangtang? line. What the heck? So true. Better wait for her to simmer down.
让我带你的脚去武营，带个屁！我不去，你说什么我就干什么，凭什么？以后姑奶奶每天带着你的脚上这儿来骂你，不服也给我收着。
I mean, that's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
呸！死死收着！你要是能……
Sorry, girly pup, for keep you waiting so long. My bad. What? Damn, an assassination attempt already? It fills me heart. That's my goat.
兄弟们，宰了这两人，给阮哥报仇。
Well, that's awkward. Well, that sure makes things a little bit awkward. Cheer her up right now. I'm sure her good old murder spree will make her feel better. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel my voice dying. Oops, dude. You're a big bro. We should kill this guy. We should kill this guy. Dude, you see the way she spun that gun?
看在过去的情分上，我不想对你动手，但给姑奶奶记住，不该碰的人别碰，还不滚！
You know, our soups can do good. Tangtang.
叛徒！你们跟着我哥把猎地者引进寨子，还有脸说我是叛徒？再让我看见你，就别想强着回去，给你扒光了吊树上。
So true, girl. Very merciful, chief. Sent shivers down my spine. I think the second one's a little bit funnier.
谁把你放过来的？我先把他吊树上。
Silly. It's an emergency, so I eavesdrop a little.
原来是偷听到的，到底是谁嘴巴漏风？
Voice sounds so good. Really is.
你赶紧说。
It's kind of a shame that we can't play, that we can't like how do I say? We can't process two languages at once. You know, left ear you put in Chinese, right ear you put in English just to hear the comparison because it's the same voice. They still might be plotting against Ling.
我说这几天上说他们藏起来搞七搞八的，原来不只是要针对我，还在惦记武陵。
How many guys do they have? Can they take on a whole city? I don't know. Is there a point? Who knows?
是我哥手底下一个主事的，他的孩子也死在了10年前那场冲突里。
So I want people to play these scenes? Yeah, I get it.
他失去了孩子，我哥失去了父亲。
My brain would melt.
后来，他就把我哥当成了自己的孩子。
Don't you mean like double the cuteness? Double the tongue? Double, you know? Instead of just tongue, we'd have tongue. Right? I can't even handle you spelling at me. What does that mean? You don't like when I spell words at you? Is that too difficult? So I just watch streamers playing different languages? Yeah, I get it.
商叔肯定不会放过杀他的人，尤其是咱们。
Who's spelling? Oh, you can't spell? Is that HARDFORYOU?
他已经死了，是谁的选择，真的还重要吗？
I don't know. What do you guys think about this CHOICE, huh? Way to fly. Sorry, that's really funny.
黑面山，你回去吧。
That's actually really
帮
funny.
我告诉红脸婆，这事儿我会收拾好，她少插手。
I'm not gonna lie, I really like Tangtang's like brooding face. Is that you know this face that she has that she's kind of like thinking really hard about something? I kind of like it. Look at the other fans. That's crazy. I would never. Come on, man. I think she's just sad. I mean, she is sad, but that one in particular, I think she's kind of brooding, right? She's thinking about how she wanted to exact revenge. It wasn't, I mean, yeah, it is sad though for her. Just apply more after people get worried. Please toast me back next time. Sure.
哎，我真没事儿，就是这几天忙得脚都快长头上了，实在顾不上看消息。
If you need.
行了行了，我这人内里外里都是一套，说了没事儿就是没事儿。
I mean, she is right on this one, actually. Yes, I told us about her anniversary.
有事儿，那也是我自己的事儿。
Supreme Chief.
够了，别跟来。
Okay. Whatever. I'm doing good though. I've been good. I've been good. Imagine having a member. You could if you were lucky enough. All you gotta do is pull your fortune every single day, you know? Go on the like I think like astrology.com. They give you like a daily like luck forecast or something like that. You can always look at there. It's about the avalanche having to get a good minute or two to figure it out. That's so funny. I forgot about that, I'm not gonna lie. That was really good. That was a good time. Black veil, not really dark mask. Yeah. Can I make fun of Latte's laugh? You can't do that. I was bullied for my laugh by my teacher when I was in 8th grade. If you make fun of my laugh now, you're just propagating that cycle of bullying, and it's really bad, actually. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? Oh, where am I going? Winning City. If you have 2 big earrings, you could join the milk club. That is also true, yeah. That nerd. Let's propagate suffering. Yeah, whatever, dude, whatever. That same teacher was also kind of racist, so I'm just letting you know, if you make fun of my laugh, you're basically saying that you're the same as my racist teacher from 8th grade. A bit angry back then, Sorge. Thank you for sharing this with me, TBH. Gotta thank you, gift. Tingle was also wishing Wooding, so I asked her to deliver. Pick from her, we got time, don't forget. Thanks a mil, Chief. Oh, whatever. It's so fine. Like, boys, Lottie Love is almost sad, but it is funny. What the heck? I don't think being racist is in your blood if you're Asian, though. I think if you think that, then maybe you're the problem, perchance. Because wouldn't that just propagate the racist stereotype of Asians being racist? Food for thought. Honestly, I keep seeing these balloons and I really want to pop them. I've never been able to, but like one of these days, surely. Have you heard a parent speak about the different races? Are you your parents? Are you your parents? You kind of are, though. I'm just saying, you need not be what your legacy deems you be.
你来拿大当家的礼物吗？我放在旁边了。
I'm no better than my parents? Okay, well, perhaps you are a racist then. That's fine. If that's what you want to be, so be it. That's a lot of tangtang students. They're piling up.
堂堂券代表大当家的看重与信任，我都没收过呢。
要不是怕被大当家揍，我都想偷偷拿一张了。
Dang, are they all mine? I cannot get either of their genes. Dang, so if you're neither your parents, then you couldn't be, right? You couldn't be a racist if you were adopted. Sorry, sorry. I didn't mean it that way. It's okay to be adopted, by the way, for the record. I just make that joke for my brother enough that it's kind of become a it's kind of a thing that I'll say now. So I bet. She'd probably beat me up too if I did that. I cancel the cheese truck is trusting me.
那你可得好好保管，要是丢一张，大当家肯定饶不了你。既然东西交给你了，我还有事，就。
You got biz? I like how they're like, oh, I'll send you to her place, and then she's in the back alleys. That's funny. Yeah, thank you, Luma. Why are you at Wuling City? What are you at Wuling City for? You too, latte? Okay. I'm simmered down. Dang, I can't believe Tangtang gave me all of her money. I can't believe I'm a millionaire. A tongue-tongue-millionaire? Tongue-tongue-millionaire? Whatever. Immersion mode? Oh, I think this stream was at NBC. I disagree. She's not hot at all. She's not my type.
尚书真是疯了，这个时候派人来武陵城搞事情。
When you say that NBC, did you mean the playable character and Endman? I can understand why you might think that they're not playable because of how cute they are. You know, no playable character could be that so cute, right? Yeah.
4个潜入武陵城的家伙在哪儿？还没给姑奶奶惹出事儿吧？
Glasses? I'm not gonna lie, guys. I never understood the glasses thing. I never understood why, like, people were really into glasses.
放心，我们已经查到踪迹了。市民广场有一个，还有3个，好像带着什么去那条商店街了。
Endman's a... Endman's a child? I don't think that's correct, actually.
他娘的！行，我先去逮那个落单的。
Glasses are very versatile. Sure they are, but like, damn, what if you don't got your glasses, right? Right?
不用我帮忙。我们这次悄悄进武陵城，本来就是不想被人注意。要是聚在一起把红脸婆引过来，他肯定。
Emma's a cancer rock. True. Shapes the face better? I think it depends on the face. No, it depends on the person. Depends on the face. I don't think cancer rocks have age. Actually, counterpoint. You can very much date a rock. You can very much see how old a rock is. I saw a video the other day. It's low-key been spinning in my head. And it's basically how, like, rocks can't form on anything except for other rocks. You guys know that? That's weird. So every rock that's created is newer than the rock that's under it, which means there's the theoretical oldest rock in the universe. Ever think about that? You got to see stuff. What do you mean you don't understand glasses? Oh, no. I understand glasses conceptually, like for the purpose of seeing things, but also I know the glasses copy pasta. I know the glasses copy pasta, so you don't need to send it. But like, carbon dating. Let's go. Carbon dating. Let's go. Sorry. For me, I just like I don't understand why people are so into glasses. All right, why people like cute girls who wear glasses. All right, like for me, it's always been kind of just like like, you know, if it exists, it exists. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. All right, you know what it is. You know, like I've never understood the appeal. All right, if a girl who's cute happens to wear glasses, then they're cute. But I don't think glasses makes a girl cute. And I don't think that like a girl wearing glasses necessarily makes her more cute, you know? If you have glasses, you're paying to be able to see some other people. I think that's kind of ableist, I'm not gonna lie. I think that line of thinking is a little bit ableist, actually. It's a kink thing. Genuinely, I cannot see what's kinky about glasses in the slightest. Maybe I'm just too, like, I don't have enough imagination for that, but like I genuinely don't understand. Hear me out. Also, frankly, like, does that mean that when you're like a blind person, like you can't find love because you can't see people? Is that the insinuation? Or what? Some people are in defeat in underarms, and like that I think I can understand because it's part of the body, right? It's something that it's like, you know, it's hard to see, right? It's not like socially acceptable to show off those aspects, and like in that sense it's kind of intimate when you are able to access that part, right? And I can understand that. But for glasses, they're always on your face, right? It's not like they're hiding anything, right? That's why librarians no longer can teach me interesting things. That's true. That is true. Everyone's weird fetishes. I think fetishes is like it's more about like I don't think about that. I don't know enough about it. Like cat ears, but it's also like the tropes. That's the thing, right? Like I think cat ears is a silhouette thing, right? And if it changes like person's silhouette, like I guess. But again, it's to me it's just like it's just a different thing. It's not like that it makes it cuter or less cute, right? That's kind of my vibe. I can't say what they like about it since I never asked. That's fair. I need tongue that two eye patches balance it out. Maybe she should just like rotate them, right? Put our single eye patch on rotation. Sometimes it's on her left eye, sometimes it's on her right eye. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Shapes that make up the face, I guess, right? But like to me, that's just a change, right? It's not like that makes it better. And so people who are just like, oh yeah, glasses are so awesome. Like are glasses not part of a lot of people's just fundamental experience of reality? Is there something that's like particularly like erotic about glasses? You know, like now you have circles on your face. Yippee. The tropes. I don't know what you mean by when you say the tropes though, right? Like tropes, you can like tropes, but you can also dislike tropes. Like sometimes they just exist. It's not to be understood, I guess they just like it. That's fair. That's fair. I just like I would want to know, right? Like what about like some people don't really care for characters if they don't wear glasses, right? That's kind of the vibe. Like I don't understand. That's the thing I want to know. Sexy circles. Office lady, librarian, teacher. I think perhaps you just have issues with authority and you just want a woman who has authority over you, perchance. I'm not a psychoanalyst though. Considering it's similar to underwear, I guess, right? But like, to me, like most fetish stuff is like it's something that's intimate, right? It's not something that you normally see, and which is why it's fetishized. An air of confidence. Oh, see, that was some that is something I can get behind. That I can understand. That's crazy. Maturity and power dynamics. I see. Okay, okay. That I can understand. That I can get behind that. I wear it because I want to see clearly. How do you feel knowing that you give off an air of maturity and power? Junk name. How does that make you feel? Mommy, she's doing blindfolds are a thing for a reason. I think blindfolds are cute though. I think blindfolds are interesting in a different way. Let's keep it PG-13. Yeah. That's facts though. That's facts though. No, I think blindfolds are a pretty interesting aesthetic choice. It's like, in my perception, at least when I see it with like K-pop, for example, it gives like a sense of like vulnerability, right? You're putting yourself in a position where one of your major senses is obscure. That's kind of interesting. Eye piercings, nothing. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, piercings kind of freak me out. Low key, some piercings give me a lot of fears. I'm okay with ear piercings. I'm okay with nose piercings to an extent. Eyebrow piercings kind of weird me out. I draw the line at tongue piercings. I don't. If I hear about tongue piercings, it freaks me out. I like lip piercings. I don't want that. No, 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 no. I wonder how it would work with glasses. Why not just like tape a like a little sparkly thing on the inside of your glasses, and then it's basically the same as having a piercing, but like without the piercing. Blindfolds aren't for the aesthetic; it's a practical function. I mean, whether or not there is, right? I think having blindfolds, it symbolizes something in a cool way, and I like that. Anyway. So, my bad, we're gonna make Luma cry, so let's let's chill out here. How's your factory growing steadily? I haven't built my factory since this because I just finished the quest today because I just unlocked the last factory stuff today. Oi, oi, head up.
我才不会给他机会插手清波寨的事。
行，那我先藏起
Anyway.
来继续探查，等大当家
Anyway.
吩咐了。大当家，你是不是来武林城了？多谢你的礼物，我们能见一面吗？
听不清。
Girl.
黑面煞这家伙，早不来晚不来，专挑今天。
Honestly, does it ever happen where someone like
这事
pretends?
真奇呀，可不能耽误了。
I didn't even do anything. I just jumped a little bit, girl. People actually fake TV like phone static to like not take calls. I think it's funny regardless. That's fine. Man, I really like Withing City. I really should spend more time here. Oh wait. There's a lot of that with Red Rock. Yeah. I unfortunately, I think the water dynamic is a little annoying. And I did also hear that a lot of people are dissatisfied with the factory because you're not really given enough stuff to do anything, really, to optimize very well. Right? So that was something I did hear about people's complaints. And that Cuprium is like also a victim of that. Sam bored to drop the call. That's fair. You not do that during Zoom classes? Oh, that's crazy. No, listen, I'm a pretty good person in that if people want my time, I'll usually give it to them. Right? Maybe I'll like ghost people on my text messages if I don't feel like answering. But like usually I'm pretty good about like talking to people when they want my time. It just better make a mess and be fine. Oh yeah, for sure. I think people are just mad because there's no optimization or not as much as they would like. See? Oh, who are you? You look a good person.
婆婆，嫂子没事儿，你有没有看见可疑的人啊？
啥？你要扫地？
So true.
啊？不是，我是说打听个事情。
哦，你这么漂亮的小姑娘，可不能打人呐！
我在找可疑的人。
Look at her.
哦，可疑的，今天就见着你一个。
You're the only one I saw today.
我哪里可疑了？
你不可疑呀？为什么刚才有人看到你就跑？
Was the factory for not to be running smoothly? That's true. That's true. If you want to run up automatically, just open Excel. Would Excel help with ENDFIELD farming? Does it need to be optimized? That is true. That is true. But it's like the enjoyment, right? The feeling of wanting to optimize it.
跑？
Was it either spot for a month trying to tongue time? No, it was like 2 weeks. I think.
哪？往那边去了。
那条商店街，难道他是找同伴会合去了？谢了，婆婆。
Supply chain problem I didn't cost? Yes, but there's also like the physical space aspect, and I'm not really sure that's like managing physical space. Isn't that you could handle in Excel?
这里到处都能藏人呢，挨个铺子找过去，他们早就撒丫子跑了。而且人也太多了，要是被发现可怎么办？哎，那边有个呆子落单了，不如去问问他。
There's a lot of jade in the city. I kind of wonder how much how the hell they get all that. Like, dang.
你，这位兄弟，
You can? Okay, I wasn't aware of that. I'm not sure how you would manage that. You build a model for how each space interacts and kinda? I wouldn't know. That's not something I've done. Like, it's not Jaded Zero Night? Dang, they were on a deficiency and they have like little things all over the place. Also, I'm pretty sure Zero Night's like teal, no? I can't remember what color Liquid Zero Night is right now, so if I sound like I'm having trouble, I am.
你是来催我交中稿的吗？再宽限几天，我的数据对不上啊。
什么稿？我不知道。我来问。
Goodness, a bitch's access a bit more. Girl, that's so funny.
奇怪，没有啊。不如我帮你问问那边的巡卫。
Could we depleted Zero Night? That's fair. I don't really understand the concept of that yet, I think.
这边有个小姑娘要找人。
I spoil 100k rocks and they spit out what I need. True. Honestly, considering that Edmund's able to manipulate Originium, we'd think that they would be able to do that.
人呢？
Where'd she go?
什么事？刚还在这里啊，奇怪。
Sorry. Sneezed.
呆子，竟然把巡卫喊过来了。好香啊！不对，来这儿不是做这个的。
Silly.
再去问问那个小哥好了。
Look at her. She seems awfully happy for someone who lost her brother not too long ago. Awesome. All right. Sus. Only a little bit.
瞅见几个走在一起，看起来怪怪的家伙。
Considering Emma can create a living tree out of rock, she can, but with some mental challenges. Well, how do I say? Simply get better, right? Like.
这么巧，刚过去4个，其中一位提着行李，我问他们吃不吃饭，没理我。他们在跟着一个，好像是穿着黑衣服的人，走得太快，我也没看清楚。
黑衣服。
Imagine them just go crunch crunch. That'd also be kind of funny. Just get good, yeah.
坏了，难道是抽黑面纱来的？
It's such a funny angle.
黑面，脸确实蛮黑的。
他们往哪边去了？
火锅店，我亲眼看到他们进去了。
多谢了，老板。
Okay. Okay. Oh, 大盘。
您里边坐啊，还有的是位置。你一个人？
不必。你有没有看见一个遮住眼睛的人？还有4个人。
Girl ran.
遮住眼睛的。
对。
穿着一身黑，嘴里面不是这个工程，
哦，
就是那个技术。
This is kind of silly.
对，完全就是本人。
就在后面。
什么？不会被下锅里了吧
That's really funny.
黑面纱，我来。
Tears. She's so cute. Oh, that's really funny. Ethan F. Limitation Fortress, the sky building when the city was built. Damn. So you're saying they downgraded? Oh. I kind of didn't realize he was wearing black, huh?
谁都你？
我听说有人找我，是你吗？
Yeah, okay. I can see that and not fall in love. Awkward.
不是你不是我不是谁找你了？
我不是我你不是我不是你不是 That's cute. I want to play that line again. Can we hear again? That's cute.
来砸场子的。
哎，就一个小丫头，去回去干活去。
Bert.
人呢？
That's the pan. Yeah, that pan. That's funny. That's funny. All right, back to the investigation, I guess.
这下叫宇兽啄了眼，丢死人了！我奶奶再也不来这破店了。大当家，有弟兄看见他们拎着行李进选建局旁的地下水渠了，我这就把位置发给你。
Girlie is doing her best.
渠，行李，奇怪，平常这个时候米夫早就跑出来逮我了。今天我东奔西窜的，他怎么一点动静也没有
Tea store.
不想了，不想了，越想越发毛。
Dessert store.
说不定就是
What is this
全新
place
的技术
anyway?
更好了。
Oh, Wuling Mart. Yeah, okay. Let's go gander. Man, I'm not gonna lie, that yap session a little bit earlier, wow. That kind of hurt my voice a little bit more than I expected. Wuling Underground Canal repair notice, okay. Well, don't mind if I do. Not heat store and dark cool, okay. Nice of them to tell me that. And also only fill out one sheet of paper with one line of warnings.
搞定了，走，回那站去吧。
Where's the tea to help your voice? What do you think I've been drinking this whole time?
混账东西，撂了姑奶奶半天，站住！
Honestly, Tangtang's voice actress is stronger than me for yelling so much. Damn, dynamite! Where'd they get that?
这是
You think she'll know? Oh,
一个托儿的，
she did.
得找人帮忙，谁来？
鬼鬼祟祟的干什么呢？
Awkward.
你怎么？姑奶奶现在急着逛街，没空理你。
Girl. When did you yell more to strengthen yours? I don't know, is that how that works?
逛街逛到水渠里，你当我是3岁小孩？说实话。
Well, obviously we know she won't, but like, man. Wouldn't it be funny if it was anyone else? They're just like, damn, Tangtang's planting bombs in the canal. She just needs to karaoke streams. No, karaoke streams are pretty bad for my voice too. She's grabbing some water samples for me. And she just trusts that. She's crazy.
就是这样，你听到了吧？快走，别碍事。
他明明是来……算了。
never mind.
既然管理员你心里有数，那你来处理。处理好了，记得来找我说一声。谢了。
Cool.
没事，快来，下面有个炸弹。
That said, I do want to do more karaoke streams when I fix myself. Yeehaw! You know what would be fun? Oh my god, a karaoke room? I want to go one. It's been so long since I've been there.
主权保佑，可千万别出事。
Disarm the bomb? Sure, whatever. Yeah, I guess I have that in our toolkit. Whatever, no big deal. Those are smaller than I expected. Let me think about this. Do that. Do that. Do that. And that. There we go. She almost does. She sings more than 2 songs. It's true. It's true. No, it's just this week isn't pretty bad for me. So just like when you turn to grandma. You say that, but my choir has a lady who is a grandma, and she sings for more than I do. It's crazy. It's really messed up, actually. It's really unfortunate. It won't go off anymore. I think I was not built for this difficult society. I think if I had scaffolding for my cords, it would have been better.
多亏你来了，海面纱，不然……不过你怎么会在这儿？
She says didn't gotta give her a rubber reception.
谁信你？走，这里待着太憋屈，出去以后我们好好说说。
Yes, ma'am.
还以为姑奶奶要交代在这儿了。哎呀，我还想，不然就告诉红脸婆，总不能让她炸了。
I love this recuperator. That's crazy. That is crazy.
哎，对了，和我说实话，你到底是怎么找到这里的？
I will tell her that just for funsies out of nowhere, you know. Oh, by the way, Luma tells you sorry. You're like, who's Luma? Guess after the loyalists.
你这人是不是比别人多长了一个脑子
？Extra brain. Why don't you say join you? I always respond to your toasts.
武林跟清波寨好不容易停战，勉强相安无事了。我不想多惹事。
And we just left the bombs in there, even though there's armed. That's crazy. You gotta tell her what I'm apologizing for. Don't give her half the info. I think it'd be really funny. I think it's really funny to tell people half the story and that's it. You can't defend the truth on your own.
可这是清波寨自己的事儿，我不想再把你卷进来。你叫我一声大当家，几次三番伸手帮我。
You know what it is? I like clickbaiting my friends. You know, sometimes I'll tell them things that happened. Like, oh, I got hit by a car when I was in high school. But it's a really slow one. And also, like, it's just because the guy was stupid. And it's no big deal. But I got hit by a car when I was in high school, you know? It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I recommend it. I'm gonna get a cough drop. I'm part of the fam, you know? I practically live here now. Did you actually get hit by a car? I was in a car. Yeah, but yeah. And it was like, again, it's a really small crash, right? Like, there was some damage to the car and we had to get it fixed for quite a bit of money, right? And I think it hurt my dad who was driving at the time. To the point, like, he did have to get, like, physical therapy in it, but, like, if I say I got hit by a car, it's a bit more clickbaity, right? It's not as fun to talk about, like, you know, the actual consequences of an event, I guess. Alright? And it all turned out well in the end, so it's fine. Only the fam calls you chief, right? Honestly, it's kind of annoying how many car crashes I've been in. Like, they're all, like, relatively minor. But man, it's really annoying. I really hate cars. Aye, chief. The truth is a lot to hit the car. I used to climb my family's car when I was little because I thought it'd be fun. Maybe attract cars? God, I hope not. Wouldn't it suck to be like a little bit magnetic? God, that would be terrible. Like, maybe it'd be nice in that, like, it's harder to lose your phone, for example. But, like, well, maybe you would wipe out your, like, if it's just a little bit too strong, you'll wipe out all your memory on your phone, right? Or, like, you know, you tracked cars, for example. That'd suck. That would suck. That's a cute look that she did. Also, cars are just big and stinky. I don't know if you guys, like, dislike the smell of cars, but me personally, I really hate the smell of cars. Like, the being inside of a vehicle. I used to be really sensitive to that. I've gotten, like, desensitized to it, but, like, for the first, like, 12 years of my life, I could not stand being in my family's car because it smelled like stale air and, like, I don't know, a car smell. I've been hit by cars and riding my bike more than once. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Hopefully they're all very minor accidents. I like the smell of gasoline. It really, like, it gave me headaches. It's really bad.
怎么样？事情结了吗？
We failed to make any arrests.
那汤汤他……算了，既然他愿意让你帮忙，说明心里还有数，没再逞强了。有你在他旁边，我没什么不放心。但如果……总之，需要我出手你就说一声，随时都在。
I'm always on Baker. You'll be first to know. Oh, nice, I had a new message. Probably very nice attack. Found out do resident called Billy. But they're hiding holes from location details. Don't be late. There's more. Right? There is more. Right game. There we are. Let's gander. I'm not gonna lie, a little part of me is wondering how much further we should go. Because I feel like there should be a climax to the segment, but also, I need to wake up at like 8 tomorrow. So, is it worth finishing today? Or should I not? And that is the hard question to answer. Also, because I have another convention this weekend. God, I really shouldn't have done this. Man, it's bedtime. You're so right. We should both go to bed. We should all go to bed. Every single person here, no matter your time zone. If it's like 2 p.m. for you, I think it's a great time to take a nap right now. Gotta be responsible adult sometimes, honestly. I should be sleeping more lately too. I should go to bed. Yeah. No, you. I would recommend taking a nice nap at 8 p.m. 3:34? 3:34 is pretty late if that's the time for you. No, I was thinking about. Have you guys ever tried to nap at like 11 8 p.m.? I've done that before. I've woken up at 2 a.m. and it's horrible. Anyway, so to finalize matters, no stream this weekend because I'm at Toronto Game Expo. That's what they're called. Which will be fun. Ha ha ha. But also, next week we'll be going back to Arknights. So we're gonna continue with chapter 16, and then I guess the weekend after that I'll have time to stream on the weekends again. So I'll be going back to ENDFIELD and finish this up. If you don't sleep to the best of your life, or best of your life, wake up in the middle of life, it's awful. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And oh yeah, just in case you guys didn't catch it before, but I'm pretty much going on a how do I say? It's not like a hiatus or anything. It's not even like, but I'm gonna be streaming way less regularly, perhaps, starting late July maybe, which means no anniversary stream this year unless I do it early. But it'd be kind of a small thing. But that's because I'm going overseas for a semester. And I'm going out and seeing the world. But that also means I don't really know if I can, stream at my usual times because I'm in a different heckin' country with a different time zone. So, basically you'll be living with me. Nah, Texas is too close to Canada, to be honest. Have fun? It'll be kind of fun. I'll share lots of content. If you guys have anything that you guys want to see more of, let me know. But I probably won't be able to stream games as much, mostly because I won't be bringing my PC down there. Because that'd be kind of annoying, kind of hard. Oh, talking to chat. Oh, okay, yeah. You can have these guys. I don't mind. Which part of the world? I'm going into. Well, across the ocean. So I'm going to Asia somewhere. Where in Asia? That's a good question, ain't it? But it'll be pretty much a 12-hour time differential. So, I kind of made a schedule for what I want to do, but no guarantees I'll be able to do it. And I'll still try to stream. It's just the time zone will change again significantly, and I might be able to stream less. I might be able to stream more. I'm not really sure. W Lumalings. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of rolls off the tongue well. But yeah, so that's something I'm gonna be doing in the latter half of the year. which means maybe more latte, maybe less latte. Chances are less latte, but I'll be posting, I guess, stuff on the internet per chance. Giving Laris' time zone. That's honestly, poor guy, because I think I still want to stream for mostly the Western audience. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be streaming at 2 a.m. for people in EST, because did I say 2 p.m? 2 a.m. Because I think that'd be really inconvenient. I'm going to Wuling. It's true. It's true. I am going to ENDFIELD of the Arknights. Yeah. I give up living privilege. No. I have a schedule planned out. I think I'll be streaming at like... Well, you guys will find out. You guys will find out. But that's something that's happening later in the year. I want to let you guys know ahead of time so I don't like jump scare you guys and with my change in schedule. I'll say like, hey guys, now I'm streaming now, right? I don't really want to change my schedule on a whim like that. But yeah, so that's something that's gonna happen later in the year. Anything else? Anything else is on my mind? I think that's all. I think that's all. So... Sorry. My mom had to grab something for me. It's really embarrassing. But yeah. You'll be getting me a keychain. Chances are I'll maybe I'm gonna try to open my online shop before then. Partially because I'm not a rich lady and I do need my income. And also, this is a way that you can directly support my brother because I'll be paying him to fulfill my orders while I'm overseas. So that's something I was planning on doing, right? Who knows if it'll work out? If I remember to, if I have the time to do that and set it up, but that's something I want to do. Little boss, yeah, I'm paying him $5 an hour to do it. No, it's probably more like $5 an order, to be honest. But anyway, that's content. That's something that's like, I don't know, it's like under their wraps a little bit because I don't want to do that. That seems a lot of work, but I'm kind of free for the summer, so I guess I do have time to do it. Who knows? Anyway, Nepo baby, yeah, because he lives in my house. $5 an order is a lot. It is a lot, yeah. So, just hired to make you 5 times my salary. That is true. That is true. But you know, a little guy's gotta eat. You know. Anyways, I'll figure the logistics on that some other time. If you guys have thoughts, prayers, questions, direct them towards my brother in the time that I'm gone. Not that you know how to contact him, and please don't contact my brother. Actually, that'd be kind of weird. But yeah, that's all I got. Next time I'll finish up for realsies, and we'll also do the factory, and hopefully we'll have time before we'll see becomes Bulbul. So that'll be fun. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me today on this 11:41 p.m. excursion. What do we do? I'd greatly prefer if you didn't, actually. I think he'd be kind of weirded out by it, to be honest. But yeah, no, those are my plans for the next few months. I'll tell him hello again. Go for it. Whatever. If you do what you want, do what you must. You know. I get him chocolate pies. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you guys another time. Hopefully I'll have more information about anything that I've talked about today. Maybe if I cancel my entire trip, I mean, I'd let you guys know, right? Smiley face. And I'll see you guys next time. So enjoy your life, and I'll see you guys in like five days. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! What?